Holy crap, we've got the OG, and by OG I mean original ground machine, because that is one word for sure. The first at freestyle, the best at branding, the twinniest top tubes, the raddest retros, the masters of manuals, the ultra undertakers, the revolutionary shredders is zipping around the cosmos. Blammo, you know, I know, we all know Haro. What up people, Derek here with benDy Tubes, and this is a biggin'. But first, shout out to Homage BMX shop out of Japan. I love Homage because I scored my most random component, my beloved purple Suelo brakes. They do get their hands on some random stuff, so check them out frequently. From the land of flow, I mean, how many places do you know that have an Aries V for sale right now? So check them out, link in the description. This is gonna be long. I mean, it's freaking Haro. Founded in 1976 by Bob Haro, get it? Dude made BMX number plates in his garage, and big surprise, it was in California. Y'all, Haro did it all. They freaking sponsored everybody. They got big, they got sold, they made parts, they made completes. There are few names in Flatland that have the staying power as Haro, but I'm rambling, so let's get into it. In 1982, they dropped the first strictly freestyle frame and first ever, the Freestyler. In 1984, they dropped the Master. This thing was a twin top tube having old school rig made by Torker. Gusseted, ready for a coaster break. People say respect your elders, so respect. There are some great words about this frame and the company on 23 Mag, so read more there. I'm not gonna dig too much into it. In '85, Haro made these things called axle extenders and pretty much tied GT in inventing the peg, which all of us, except for Chad Johnson, need. They made other frames, the Sport, the Team Sport, the Team Master. In '87, they made knee saver bars, which are also incredibly iconic. In '89, the Master got a bash guard, and skip a few years and some meaningful things actually changed. So in 1993, the Master still had that twin top tube 10 years later. But one of the most iconic elements of Haro was introduced this year, and that is the Mega Tube. This tube was an absolute chonk at 2 inches in diameter. Also, this thing was sporting a 19-inch top tube, 74-degree head tube angle, and not bad for a bike from 31 freaking years ago. So as we go through this, the question that I have and I want to answer is, what happened with the Mega Tube? A tube of that stature just doesn't disappear. Was it bullied? Was it tube shamed? I don't know. But when I know, you'll know, and we'll all know the knowledge. 1994 came and went, which brings us to 1995, the last of the twin top tubes. Mid-size hybrid, if you want to call it, 19.5-inch top tube. This was also the last year of that 1-inch threaded head tube, and thus the last year, in my humble opinion, that the Master was an old school frame. Now, this is a pivotal year. The Master went all skunk works and headed to the underground parking garage to get refined. I also want to call out that Haro offered a ton of bikes. Race bikes, freestyle, mountain bikes. Their catalogs are huge, and I want to shout out this CloudFront site. I don't know who runs it, but just about every Haro catalog is linked below, which is super rad. Tons of info out there, so check them all out in the link in the description. Now, in 1996, no Haro Master was around, but there was an Ultra. Picking up where the Master left off, this thing is basically a 95 Master. Twin top tube, mega down tube, sick offering for sure. Head tube went around 1 1/8, so welcome to the mold school. All right, now we're in 1997 and the Ultra took a step. And that step was to shrink that top tube to a whopping 18.5. This thing was offered as a complete, and they tossed some 175 millimeter cranks, and not totally a Flatland kit. And you can see like the pedal and the tire overlap at the front. So, it's still running a 44 tooth sprocket and a grind disc. You could also fit the brakes on the chainstay. So like I said, not a full Flatland kit, but still pretty rad for sure. Some other wild details, the Pac-Man-ish dropouts on the forks, and check out this brake system called the ABS, or aerial brake system. Basically a front V brake instead of a U brake. Super random, haven't really seen that too many places, but rad for sure. Now in 1998, the Ultra took a massive scuff forward. 990s up front instead of the ABS. They dropped the twin top tube and went with the single tube and seat tube gusset at the back. Now that mega tube was bent, so Haro, welcome to the mid school. This bike also had those fat ground round fusion pegs with the plastic caps, big block stem, knee saver bars, nuke chain ring at 40 teeth, and the brakes relocated to the seat stay. Also sporting a Nankai free coaster, this thing was legit. Now, in 1999, we got the bike. The 1999 Haro Master 20th Anniversary Edition, designed by Chad DeGroot, full on flat machine. First the DIMS, 1875 top tube, 74-degree head tube angle, still kind of long, 14.75 chainstay, came in chrome or green. But the deets and the geometry were solid. That bent mega tube, partition platform, seat stay mounted brakes, super dope frame. Also, Haro had a thing for this like slope back top tube pierced by the seat tube back to a seat stay wishbone design that you see here. Several of their frames had it, from the Blammo to the Supra. The component package was spot on too. Radial laced Haro Heifer 3 triple wall rims with the Nankai free coaster in the back, 160 millimeter cranks, mini nuke sprocket, those Pac-Man forks, like 1000% radness. And finally, this thing weighed a whopping 36 pounds, so it was hefty. I had one of these frames. I rode it for flat and street with some S&M dive bars. Great bike, loved it. I also want to call out this pristine NOS version from BMX Museum user USMC 8541. Absolute perfection. It was for sale on eBay not too long ago. Banging. So clean. True to period, really well done. If I had more cheddar, this thing would be in my collection right now. So cheers. So Y2K brought the next iteration of this master.